Hey there guys, and welcome back to another episode of Let's Speedrun The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. So, in the last episode, we got here to the entrance of the second dungeon, and in this episode, we will be taking it out. So, to start things off, there is that text at the beginning of every dungeon, and we are going to avoid that by jumping, pausing, and switching to our magic powder. Reason for this is we need to light 2 torches here. Switch back to the sword, charge up a spin slash, and ideally take those guys out both at once. Sometimes the pink guy can troll you a little bit, but that's okay. Now, when you head down here, charge up the spin slash so you kill the enemy and hit the switch at the same time. This room can be pretty fun. If you do it correctly, you should just kind of do it all in one fluid motion, kind of like that. So yeah, just to break it down, you collect the magic powder, step on the switch to make the chest appear, hit that crystal switch to change it, and then skip the text, jump up here, and you're good to go. So now, try and optimize your movement with the rock's feather, avoid the keys, and push these blocks together to make it to this cave where ideally you don't have to stop moving at all if you time it out correctly. Now here actually is one of the route changes now that we're not doing the golden leaves. With the golden leaves, when you collected them, you had to use a total of 4 arrows to take out enemies and collect golden leaves quickly. Now that that's not no longer an issue, we have some arrows to spare. So what I'm going to be doing from now on is changing out for my bow and arrow right here. And when you walk into the mini-boss fight, just fire off 2 arrows, just like you did at the first mini-boss, and you can take him out. This is really convenient because this mini-boss used to be a big sticking point for me where I would die to him a lot because each of his attacks do 1 heart of damage, and pretty much the most efficient way to kill him was just to tank it and just swing your sword at him as fast as possible, and so it would end up giving you a lot of damage. So it was easy to die in that case, but now that won't be such an issue because we have the bow and arrow, we have some extra arrows. In this room, jump down here, switch to the sword and the magic powder, kill both of these enemies, and collect the power bracelet. Now you want to switch out for the power bracelet instead of the powder. One thing to note about equip screens, the equipment screen, is as you can see when I, pause, unpause, and repause, the cursor stays where it was before. However, when you save and quit, the cursor resets up to the upper left-hand corner. Now because of this, you want to kind of keep the items you're not going to use as much down at the bottom. And that way, then that'll keep them out of the way so that you'll never have to worry about, having to move around a ton. And there's an item later in the game, the Ocarina, where you really want that to be out of the way, or else it'll waste a lot of time because another sub-screen comes up, etc., etc. So yeah, that's just kind of a little general thing about the equip screen. So after we collect the power bracelet that lets us lift up pots, we're going to come over here, throw the pot at that crystal switch. And now here comes one of my hated areas as a kid. Here, in order to get the boss key, you need to take out the Pulse Voice, then the keys, then the Stalfos. And so that was the reason I hated it as a kid, is I just forgot what order it was every single time. So ideally the Stalfos would not be doing that. You know what? That's a poor example. I'm just gonna reset the room so I can show you the fastest way to take this out, which is not that. If you accidentally kill an enemy, you can reset them by just moving by going up and down that staircase. And wow, the enemies are being really trolly. So here you just kind of kill the keys, charge up a spin slash, kill the Stalfos. That was a really poor example. I apologize for that, but yeah. So in this room, you want to take out the Pole's Voice and the gels as quickly as possible to make a staircase appear. Here we're going to switch back to the feather. And the reason for this is that actually going up ladders is much faster if you mash the jump button. And here, there's a fun little trick where if you line yourself up correctly, and jump, you can jump over this pit and just kind of get yourself right here and not have to waste the time jumping around and blah blah blah. So, one thing I forgot to mention in the prior episode with the boss fight is that at the beginning of every boss fight there is some text that comes up, and some text is longer than others for some bosses, but you can skip it using either the start menu or the save and quit menu. In this situation, it's faster to use the start menu because as soon as you hear the doors close, you bring up the start menu. To skip it, I need to switch my items out. So that kind of skips his text there, although he does have some secondary text that shows up. This fight is actually really cool because there are a lot of strategies. This goes way faster than it's initially meant to. So here we dodge his 8 fireballs. And now you want to pick him up while he's in midair because there's some text that shows up if you let him land. Here we have some magic from the glorious wall clipping. As long as you just make sure you're lined up, see that you kind of like push down like that, and make sure that there's 1 pixel to the left of the pot there on the torch that you can actually see. If you throw it, it'll break his bottle immediately. Initially, you were supposed to throw him against the wall 3 times, so that saves a lot of time. Now here, we want to switch to our bombs, drop a bomb, so that he will get hit by it. Right there. Drop another bomb right here, hope he spawns in a good location, and collect the heart piece. Sometimes his spawn point is really random, and sometimes he will just spawn really far away from your second bomb. And so if that happens, immediately don't even try to hit him with another bomb. It's just too random. Immediately switch to your sword, charge up 2 spin slashes, and that will actually take him out. So, yeah, that boss can also be pretty trolly. He can kill you pretty easily if you show up with low health, because every one of his hits does 1 heart of damage. So, yeah. So that just about does it for this dungeon. And in the next episode of Let's Speedrun The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, we will be seeing the major ramifications of the route change that the new trick has allowed us to have. So I will be demonstrating that in the next episode of Let's Speedrun Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. So until then, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.